in place. Ready. It's knee, san, shake. It's knee, san, shake. Ankle rotations. It's knee, san, shake. It's knee, san, shake. It's knee, san, shake. Yoge Subiri. 20 times. Ready? Hajime! Yes! Hey! Son! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Hill! Hill! Yes! Nay! Son! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Hill! Hill! Alright. Relax. Shonen Suri. 30 times. Ready? Hajime! Six! Stay! Sun! Stay! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Yes! Nay! Sun! Stay! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Yes! Nay! Sun! Stay! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Right. That's
I see.
Simon Suri. 30 times. Ready? Hajime! Heads! Hey! Sun! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Yes! Nay! Sun! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Yes! Nay! Sun! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Right. Relax. Aisuri. 30 times. Ready? Yoi! Hajime! Yes! Nay! Sun! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Six! Nay! Sun! Say! Go! Go! Six! Hush! Kill! Kill! Single kill. Yes. Hey. Sun. She. Yes. Knee. Sun. She. Last one. Yes. Knee. Sun. She. And go. Also at top. No. Let us stop. Stop.
Ja, alle mensen.
Line up for me.
Hey.
Alright, so the way that you're putting on your board is correct because one, the lengths of your manihimo are not the same. See how
아까만에
these are much shorter than the loops? They should be equal.
아까만에
And the hakama, see how it's too loose, the back plate is already falling down.
이거는 다래의 힘과 훨씬 있다는 거야.
And the tare's strings should be crossing behind the back plate. Okay? And in front, you have on one side, you have the do himo properly inserted behind the do. but the other one is loose. So,
これは
be properly
皆さんが指導者だから You have to teach them and to tell them. You never pass. You never pass.
Yeah, because this is the same as showing up to your driver's practical exam with a car that's got a broken taillight. Right? So at the very least, you got to make sure that your uniform is on correctly.
はい。
だからこの袴ね
Okay?
長すぎる
So the hakama is a little too long in the front.
じゃあこうやって足に立つとくるぶしがちょうど隠れるぐらい
So,
こうやって
so right now, it's like if you stand up straight, your ankles should be hidden by the hakama, but just barely hidden. Yours is already like almost touching the ground.
それよりもっと問題なのは
But even more importantly,
面を打つ
when you strike men,
こうじゃない
you're twisting in midair to the side.
まっすぐ
You need to make sure that your strikes are straight.
こういう
Like this.
前
See, you need to make sure that you're going straight in and through, not twisting in midair.
線までいる Don't hesitate このまま持つ
So, you need to make sure that to fully commit to each strike, don't hesitate, don't let yourself stop midway through.
はい。
はい、はい、次行きましょ
Okay, so next group.
う2段
Okay, those that are going to be testing for Nida next. That's a group of 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
誰です
Is it just 2 of you that are going for?
There's 4.
No, we are standard intact was a nidan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going for Nida next because you're Shodan right now. Same with you.
We go standard for standard.
Okay. All right. So it's just you 2. All right. Okay. So, Jun, you're A, you're B. Okay. A is this side. B is this side. Study that in this.
はい
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Something that I think
これは
has to
こ
be
ういうこと
said.
すると審査の審査員の先生がすぐダメでもダ
So,
メって
one thing that you have to remember during the practical is that no one is going to tell you to start,
あのね
that you have to step in and bow. That's something that you have to know to do. As soon as you step up, you do it as soon as you see that the other person is ready. The person that is calling Hajime and Yame is only for when the actual fight starts. So, if you step up and then you're just simply standing there looking at the examiners dumbly like that, you will automatically fail.
センター
All right, so this is the center.
はい
Shoot! Shoot! Side swing! Yeah! Shake! Jaw! Take! 4! Take! examination, you don't want to find yourself in a tsubadari.
つばだけがですね、
Doing this kind of tsubadari is not good.
打っていって、ここです。
If you're going to do tsubadari, you want to make sure that it's correct like this.
で、打つ気がなければ、
If you have no opportunity to strike from here,
ボーツ、
both sides should disengage and reset.
これがオープン。
You need to make sure that you completely open up the distance and then start again.
で、そちらは打って抜けないといけない。
So, if you strike, you need to make sure that you follow through and go through.
ね、こうやって打って、
Strike like this.
ここで止まったら、
You can't just stop when the other person is still right there.
正しい姿勢で勢いのある打突なんです。
Your strikes have to have momentum and you have to have correct posture.
まして二段になったら、
Especially when you start at the knee level.
構えて。
You need to go through like this, clean, and turn.
こういうふうに打っていかない。
This is how you need to be able to strike.
もっと自信持って打たないと。
So, it needs to have more confidence.
当たるかな。
You're pretty much, it's obvious that you're just wondering, can I hit? Is it gonna work? And so it's like, there's no confidence in any of your strikes.
自分の竹刀が上がれば、
If your shinai goes up,
ここで止まったらダメなんで
you can't let it stop here.
す。竹刀が打とうと思って
If
竹
it
刀
goes
が上がれば、
up, then it has to go into a strike.
打っていかないといけない。これが剣道なんです。
This is Kendo.
だから打たれたくないって言ってね、
So, if you're just thinking about, I don't want to get hit like this,
こういうのはダメなんです。
this is not good.
これはもう全部同じです。初段、二段、三段。
This is, regardless of what rank you're going for, this is true of all ranks.
だからしっかりと考えて、もうちょい思い切っていけば、
You need to have a bit more momentum and commitment to your strikes.
ちょっと外れていく。
You hesitate a little too much.
それとこうつばだけが悪い、
And both of you, your tsubadari is bad because you're pushing here.
つばだけというのはプッシュするんじゃないです。
Push, tsubadari is not about pushing your opponent.
例えばバーン体当たりして、
If you're here, you're locked because you're trying to find an opportunity to attack, like this.
こういうふうに今大体3秒から4秒
Generally, you should only be locked for 3 seconds, maybe 4 at the most.
だからお互いに来て面、私も面。
So if we go both and here and
こういうふうに。
this is how it's supposed to be. You both go in, you just happen to end up stuck. You go down, you're trying to find an opportunity. Nothing presents itself within like 3 seconds, so you both decide, all right, let's disengage and reset. Because remember, you're on a timer right now. So you have to make sure that you show the examiners what they want to see for your skill
普段
level.
はちょっとでもミスったらダメですよ。ちょっとでも今になるんで、つばだりはミスったりなんかしたらダメです。
So you can't let even a single mistake like that tsubadari go by.
だから常にそのつばだりもしっかりと。
So you need to make sure that even if you are in a tsubadari, it's correct.
縁を切らない。これ大事なことです。
What's important is that you don't break the concentration though. Even if you open up the distance, you have to make sure that you maintain your concentration and focus.
はい。はい、次3段。
Alright, so next is the Sandan.
A, B, and C で上行くことである。
Alright, there's a third person that was going for Sandan, correct?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, so your C,
Uh-huh.
alright, A, B, C.
3だね。はい
Alright? So come on in. Alright, so that was pretty good.
ちょっともう先に打ってから
You need to be a bit faster on the attack.
こっちの方が0.2 or 3 seconds 早い
So he's maybe 0.2 or 3 seconds faster on you on the attack.
7 seconds
はい
クローズだけどこっちの方が早いからパッと念が当たって
So it's like, because he's just a little bit faster, his attacks are landing just a bit before yours.
で今面も取った小手も取った
So you're able to get a men and a kote,
斬新がちょっと
but your zanshin,
やっぱり三段になってくると
once you start getting to the sandan level,
もっと早めにターン
you need to be able to turn faster and earlier.
今面だよ
So you strike men, right?
これはやらないんですよ
Don't go so far through.
後ろないです
That's not necessary.
だから当たれば抜けて
So if you try to go through,
こう
you should make sure that you turn and then you keep your eye on your opponent.
すると審査員が
And then the examiner is going to acknowledge that.
これでもね
Same with kote,
ここから
like this. Is you're not going through.
多少ここでもいいですよ
Even if it lands here,
とにかく思い切って体が
you need to make sure that you go through with your strikes.
こういう感じだ
It's got to have more momentum behind it, even if you end up hitting the other person.
抜けないです
The problem is that if you don't go through, even though you could,
これは9
that's maybe at the Q level.
9とか初段です
At most, maybe the shodan.
もう3段だったらそういう
But once you're at the sandan level, that's not going to fly.
バッとくっついてから
You need to either go through or stick to your opponent so that they can't attack you.
するとすごい勢いのある
Then it's going to look like you've got momentum.
もう今でもいいけどちょっと
So,
なんとな
you're
く
pretty good right now,
Dado,
but
something that-
you've still got a little more before I can definitively say that.
もったいないです悪いじゃあもう相手が
So what you need is
こうやって相手が来る人を先に打っていかない
you need to be able to strike your opponent when the other person starts to intend to strike.
今は
Right now,
こうやって打ってる
you're striking after the other person is already halfway through their strike.
だからここの
So right here, this
食事
distance,
まで構えるで一足一頭の前になって
once you get into the sukuito no ai,
相手が来るなとパンと打ってる
when you see the other person is about to attack, that's when you need to go.
三段はそのレベルです
That's what the sandan has to be able to do.
相手が来て自分が行くこれはもうない
Not wait until the other person attacks you and then only attack after they're halfway through.
それなら逆に面で
If that's what you're going to do,
抜
then
き道行くとか
do this,
抜き道行くとか
do a nukido,
それとか面
Or if you want to strike then,
こういう大地技もできない
do this kind of ojiwaza.
大地技も少しできない
So, you should also be able to do a bit of ojiwaza as well at this level.
I'm already done.
Yep. So now it'll be C versus B.
Okay. Yeah, see one more again. The A.
B.
Go ahead, go ahead. No, that's all right. The center.
All right. So this is the center. Shrimp! So the second person, their second match,
ちょっと押されてますよね
you were getting pushed back.
やっぱり2人目もさっきみたいに先に打ってない
So just like in your first match, during your second match, you need to make sure that you're striking before the other person.
で今2人やったら
And so you two,
ほとんどイーブン
it was almost even.
でそっちとやった時もほとんどイーブン
And when he fought you, it was almost even.
だから2人が落ちてあなたがひょっとしたら三角ぐらい
So that means that the two of them most likely would fail. Your is a maybe.
だからやっぱりもっと思い切って打っていかないといけない
So you need to make sure that you are more confident and more committed in your strike.
それと問題打突の打ち方がちょっと問題がある
So, and there's one more problem with how you're striking.
ちょっとここから
From here,
こういう打ち方だ
you're striking like this.
当たらない
So that's not going to hit properly.
向こうもめくるわけだ
Because the other person's also going to be coming in
私
at
も
the
めく
same
る
time too.
ここに当たりやがる
So you're going to end up hitting just their tsuba.
だから上げた姉妹は
So if you go up like this,
これから右手を前に出す
your right hand has to extend forward here.
すると当たるんですよ
Then you'll be able to clear the other person's hand and
So
you'll be able to land your hit.
ね
If you bring your right
ね
down like this,
いや真ん中大丈夫だ当たらないからねこういういやーね
you see, you're always going to end up hitting the other person's hand.
そうじゃなくてここを上げたらこのからここで
From here,
ここで 前に押す。
You need to extend your right hand forward.
だから左手はこのぐらいの高さ。
And so that means that your left hand has to be at this height.
これは低い。
If it's too low, then it's not going to be able to land.
だからこうはさらに入ってから。
Like this.
すると綺麗。
Then your strike is going to look much cleaner.
いや、これそれも基本がそうですから。
I mean, this is basics too.
だから基本ができてないからだんだん厳しいですよ。
So, if you don't have the basics correct, then Sandan's going to be very difficult to pass.
で、捕まりになった時、
Now, if you're at a very close range, like
捕まりに
this,
なった時、例えば相手がずっと目くる。
for example, the other person is coming in
そ
mid,
の時は小さくこの
like
左
this,
をこう
then yeah, you can bring your hand lower in order to be able to strike, because the other person is much closer.
だけど遠いまま一
But
足との
if
前
you're starting at Isoku Itomoai, like
これから行
here,
くんだったら大きな
then you need to make sure that you're extending your arms forward to clear the other person's hand.
そういう練習してください。
So, please practice that.
その面が打てるようになったら合格ですよ。
Once you can strike a man like that, then you should be able to pass.
皆さんもそうですけど、
And so that applies with everybody too.
胸を張る。
You need to expand your chest.
このね、みんな目を打つ時に、
When you strike, you are all tending to compress your chest like this as you bring your arms forward.
短い。
But that actually shortens the length of your extension.
胸を張る。
You need to expand your chest like
胸を
this.
張ったら届くん。
That is actually going to let you extend further.
だから皆さんいやーってね、届かない。
See, if you don't expand your chest, then you're not going to be able to reach your target.
当たっちゃう。
If you do expand it, then you'll be able to reach farther.
OK？ はい、次。
Alright, so next group,
4段。
those that are going to go for their own exam.
That means A, B, C.
A, B, C.
はい、どうぞ。
Right? Shoot! Come on in.
やっと4段になってちゃんとできるよね。
Shoot!
いというのがない。
So you lack a sense of momentum in your strikes and during the follow.
彼女にペーパーを渡したから
So
聞いてください。
I gave her a document on explaining some of these concepts, so please ask her for an explanation later.
で、男性と女性、
So when you've got a male examinee and a female examinee,
この時はスピードがどうしても男性の方がちょっと速い。
the man is generally going to be just a little bit faster, and it's going to appear to have a bit more speed and momentum.
だからそれであるなら
In that case,
エグザミナーは何を見てるか。
you have to think about what it is that the examiners are looking for.
エグザミナーは姿勢が良くてこういうのを見てるわけじゃ
They're
ない。
not looking just to see is your posture straight.
だからみんなは綺麗
So your posture is fine when you strike,
だけど勢いが。
but the problem is that it lacks momentum.
だから勢いを出すのはどうするんだ。
So in order to have momentum,
やっぱり大きく振りかぶったら間に合わない。
if your swing is too big, then the strike itself is going to be too slow.
でだからできるだけまだ大きいですよ。
So yours is still too big as well.
これもまだ大きい。
This is too big.
これ半分ぐらい。
Needs to be maybe half that
ほら
here.
それで速くだね。
And it has to be fast.
だから大きく打つっていうのは練習基本の練習の時に
Having a big strike like this is something that is for when you're practicing basics.
だけど相手がいるんですよ。
But when you've got an actual opponent in front of you,
相手が小さく目を打ってる。
the other person is going to try to attack with a small man.
これ当たるわけないですよ。
There's no way that you're going to be able to make it in time if you got this big
だから
swing.
もう少し小さく。
So you want to try to make your strikes a bit smaller, a bit more compact and optimal.
手で打たないです。体全部で。
Don't try to make the strike with just your hands, but rather have your entire body move into the strike.
体全部を使って。
So, not like this, but rather this, where you use your entire body.
これ一本入れば OK だと。
So, I think that if you can get at least one shot like this, then you should be okay.
で打った後斬新が悪いですよ
So,
ね。
after the strike, your zanshin is bad.
なんかねちょっと打った後
After the strike,
1、2、3とこういう
you're taking like
ダラーッ
these
と変わる
three steps where you're not really ready, and so your guard is down.
で最後まで審査員は見てますから
So the examiners are going to keep an eye on you, and they're going to watch you to see if you're able to complete your attack.
ねまあこれでもそうです
So whether it's a man or kote,
これありえません
you can't have
OK
something like this where you're completely open and
これはない
defenseless.
ですこれは面
Don't
で
do
す
this.
これはここです
Kote is supposed to stop here after the strike.
だからこれを打って相手につくから
So if you get stuck in against your opponent after the strike, it should be like this.
だから本来で言うとこれなんです
Because really, what should happen after striking kote is that it should go into a tsuki like this.
だけどこんなふうにやったら審査員の人が何やってるって言われる
But if you actually do that, then the examiner is going to be like, oh, what are you doing?
だから上げるんじゃなくて
So, what you do
このまま
is
行く
you don't let your shinai go up too high, but you make sure that you go in with that feeling that you're going straight
こ
towards
こ
your
は
opponent's
これ
throat.
面ですよもう
Because if your hands go up this high, then you should be striking men.
これ皆さん気にしてないようだけど審査員見たらダメだって
So, the examiners are going to be looking at these things. And so if they see you do that,
き
you're
れい
going
に
to
き
fail.
れいに打ってるからあとはもう勢い
So your strike itself is not bad, so you need more momentum,
でもう一つはこれが一番大事なんですよ
and this is even more important.
何にもなくて
You're simply attacking even though there's no opening present.
だから構えて相手が面なら面に来させればいいわけじゃない
So if the other person's going to come in, make them come in. Bait them into attacking men. Okay?
これで遅れる
See? You can just simply deflect their attack just this easily.
相手が来ると
Or strike right when they're about to attack.
だからこっちの方でさ面はい
So, if you can bait the other person into attacking, then you can set them up so that you can do something better.
だからこう攻めてくる
So you need to semi like this.
この中では面を振るところ
And if they don't attack, then you're already close enough that you can attack something.
だから今みたいに攻めていったら攻めて
So if you semi,
はい抑える
then you can suppress their shinai by pushing it down like this and use that opportunity to attack.
予断はこのぐらいやってほしいですね
So, Yodan, you have to be able to do at least this much.
だからこっちでもいいしこっちでもいいし
Whether it's coming in from the left or the right, it doesn't matter.
ハートを抑えると相手がこれを
Because as soon as you push the other person's shinai, they're going to respond in some way, and that's going to create an opening.
こういう技が一つ出れば
If you can do
最後は
at least one of these kind of waza,
私
then
ならマルチ
you'll
しま
pass.
す
At least for
私ならマルチ
people
から
for me, like examiners like me, we will pass you.
こういうのはダメです
This is no good though.
こういうのは
This is
予断は
just
こう
you
な
simply attacking without taking into consideration if
二段
there's
まで
an opening. That's at most up to Nidan.
だから面に来させるね
So
面に
you need to be able to bait the opponent into attacking, and when they are about to attack, that's when you take advantage of the opening.
は
Like this.
これどうしようかっていうのは
And right when the other person hesitates, thinking maybe I'll go for kote, then you can go for something
ああ
else.
いうふうにハズテしないでパッこれで
So,
とにかくダメ
and when that happens, you have to make sure you don't hesitate. You have to immediately go for what's open.
それが勢いだ
So that's having momentum.
今どうしようか
So you are thinking, wait, what should I do?
これは予断の場合やつだ
So that's at the Yoran level.
はいさっきはい次5段
Alright, so next, Godan.
2人だけかはいもう時間だね
Set!
それ
Give him! Come on it!
ちょっとやってあげてくれる
Mark, can you do it? Can you do it?
冗談でゆっくりして
そこまで When you strike, it should not go out, but rather needs to come in like this. Not up like here. It's the same as if you were striking with both hands. So that's one. And second, your kama is bad. Not like this. Because your tip is starting to go lower and lower as the match progresses.
これはもう威力がないですよ。
So this means that you've got no real presence, no real effect on your opponent. You need to keep
二頭の上段って難しいですから。
you need to keep it higher, and because when fighting against Nito, Jolan is it's very difficult.
そんなにたくさん打たなくていいですよ。
You don't have to strike that much.
大体当たんないですよ。向こうに行くとこうやって構えてるんで。
Basically, because the other person is a Nito, there's very little that you can do to
だから
get it in.
今でよけられる。あ、よけブロック。だからこれ体で入ってる。
If this happens and you get blocked, you need to be able to twist and turn and pinwheel your attack so that you can go in for a second attack.
私はね、うまくはないです。
So, I haven't practiced Jolan much, so I don't have the built-up wrist work.
だ
But
から全部あげるから。I
because
give
you
it to
have to
everything.
feel like you're pretty much offering up everything.
I give it to this. But give me a man, or give me a coat. Something. だからお互いにと冗談は下ろした方が負けですよね。
So, generally, when fighting against Nito, and when it's Jolan versus Nito, the first person to strike and miss is the one that's going to lose.
それをやった方がいいな。
So that I think you need to think about a bit more.
だから2度で例えばこうやって小手を打ってくる。
So, the Nito's probably going to go for my hand. So, if I can do this, then I'll be able to strike like here. And it doesn't matter whether it actually lands or not. It's the fact that you were able to pull off something like that in the first place is what matters.
2度も同じです。
Same with Nito though.
こいって入ってない。
You need to be able to, while taking the initiative, close the distance.
ただ待ってね。
Not just simply standing there and then trying to strike and trying to find an opening. You need to create an opening.
だからパーって言ってここで例えば冗談がいい。
So if the other person is taking Jodan,
小手を打たせればね。
you want to make the other person go for your kote.
そうすると小手打ったところ
And then when they come for kote, yes, like that,
するときれいな。
then you'll be able to get in a clean shot.
で冗談で2度に打たって。
And same thing with Jodan. You want to let the other person attack you.
例えばここで小手を打って。
For example, if you let your kote open so that they go for it, then you can knock the shinai down and go for men.
まず打たせること。
So, the big thing is to bait the other person to attack you.
難しいですよ。
So, it's very difficult the way that you matched up.
小手も打てないし。
Because you can't hit kote, you can't hit this kote, you can't hit men.
まあだから逆動でしかない。
Maybe you can do it for a jakudo.
それならじゃあ逆に打たせて。
If that's the case, let them attack you.
パッパッパッとかね。
And then you can do something because now they're no longer ready
い
and
ろいろ考えて。
you can do something like this. So that's what you have to think about.
でここで来るところ。
And right here, dropping down like this, making an opening so that you bait your opponent to attack.
まず構えを。
So, first things first though is your come on.
時間がないんだ。あ、もう、はい、じゃあ次、6だ。
Right?
A, B, C, and D.
Exactly.
はい、
Not you, but he's like, oh, I guess you have to do this otherwise.
はい、もうこの時点で、この時点で。
Right at this point, he's already failed.
あ、この時点でもう
Because you're
書い
not
ていいよ。
paying attention to the distance.
I'm just gonna
You're too far.
もうね、6段受ける人は、9歩の前ができないっていうのは、もう、これはもう、致命傷です。
Come on, because you're already going for 6 dan. You should be able to judge 9-step distance just by eyeballing it.
ね、こうやってな、はい。 呼ばれてきた、並びます。何にも
So-
印がない。
If there's no indication of where the starting line is,
だけど3歩出てちゃんとぴったり。
but you have to know that in 3 steps,
こういう話。
you have to
ね、
come out and make sure that you're at the correct distance.
それを
But something like this where
これはもう
one side
out.
knows where the distance is and the other side doesn't, it's like, come on. You gotta take it a little more seriously, man.
いやじゃあこれが真ん中です。
So, that's the middle.
はい。始め。 And B and C. Look!
焦った。
今4人やって、ひろみさんが一番近いです。パスタ。
So out of the four, Hiromi-san is the closest to passing.
ただ一つ、やっぱり弱いという。
So the only problem is that she doesn't have enough of power in her strikes.
だからいいところで、
But she's very good at being able to force the opponent to try to attack and being able to set them up so that she can do a counter.
で一本取られて、一本取られて、こても取られて。
Right.
ただね、銅が今面会する。体が
The only problem is with your duel, you still have a tendency to lean into the strike rather than being able to maintain your upper body's straightness.
で、まあ、いつも言うんですけど、面をまっすぐ。
So if the other person strikes men straight,
じゃあこの面を外すにはどうすればいい？
so what do you need to do so that this misses?
こうです。
Just move this much.
ここから。
So from here,
ここから。
this.
足一つだけ。
It's about just 1 foot width.
すると体はまっすぐなんです。
And so you'll still be able to maintain the straightness of your upper body.
だからそれをたくさん行くから
If you go too far,
こうなる。
then that'll force your body to lean into the strike.
だからほんの少し前へ。
So it's a diagonal step, so you step forward, but just a little bit to the side, just enough so that you're shoulder to shoulder with the other person as you go through.
で、打った後少し打ってどうって言って
So, and we took,
3で
and then you go 3 steps past the other person.
思ってる。
Right?
だから3分ぐらいで十分なんです。
So,
ほら、
like this.
するとこれなんです。
That way it's very clean and you've got a good chance of passing.
当たってるんだけど、ちゃんとクリアじゃない。
So the problem was that her strike landed, but it wasn't very clear when going through like this.
だから1、2、3ぐらい
You've
で、
got to be more stable and more confident, especially in the follow through.
3分ぐらい。すると間違いなく丸です。
And then you'll definitely pass.
それで固定。
And your kote,
せっかく当たってることだけど、あれじゃなかなか。
so I mean it landed, but
だからこれもう少し踏み込まなくてもいいけど、
you don't have to fumikomi, but it does need to be sharper.
いうパッていうキレがあると見た目がすごくいい。
So if there's a bit more sharpness to the motion, then it's going to have a much better appearance.
だから皆さんどのことがいいか3本やってみ
So
ま
I'm
す
going to do 3 different kotes, and then I want you to think about which one looks best.
これが一つね。
This is 1, 2, 3.
ナンバー3。そうでしょ。
That's because I really went in. I had momentum in my strike.
最初打ったのと最後とほとんど同じなんですよ。
So the first and the third one were actually very similar in terms of the strike itself.
だけど最後の方がも
But the last one had much more momentum in the follow through.
う、だから剣道は足と体なんです。
So, Kendo depends on your feet and your body. You need to be able to move, and you have to have mobility.
ですからだから せっかく小手でもだかられだけシャープ
So, you need to make sure that it's much sharper.
面もシャー
And your men also has to be sharp.
プこれじゃシャープじゃない
This has no sharpness to it.
じゃあちょっとシャープにするにはどうすればいいの
So, what to do to make it sharp?
これじゃうまくないじゃあどうすればいいこれを左手をこう前に出す
You have your left hand go forward like this.
で左手を引いて右
You
手を
pull your left hand back and you push your right hand forward.
すごいパワ
So that's got a lot of power behind it.
ーただ一つ
The only thing is that you have to make sure that you're not pulling back with your right and pushing forward with your
ちょ
right.
っとだけ
There's a very small difference, but it results in a much bigger difference in the effect.
特に女性にはそうやってほしいです
Especially with women. I want women to try this.
面倒くさい
So, just let me hit men. Okay, so this is just a regular man that everybody does.
これね
But then this kind of
当たりが
man,
違
you
う
feel the difference.
わかります
So do you understand?
えこれ普通の面
So this is regular man that everyone does.
それをこれやろ
And then this is what I want you to work on.
う同じパ
See, this is the same amount of power in both, but more gets transferred in the second type.
ワー、だから小手も
Same with kote.
これでできればいいけどできな
If
け
you
れば
can do this, it's fine. But for those that can't make that strong, you use that same kind of lever action here.
で体も一緒にペーッと入ってくる
Then you do this.
こういう打ち方もあります
So there's this kind of way to strike too.
だからそれは自分でどれがいいか
So that's something that you've got to experiment with, see which one you're most comfortable with, and which one you can actually make strong.
こうやって面打ちます
So if I start men like this,
こういう面がいいのか
some people might be fine with that,
こういう面がいいのか
or some people might use this, or this.
どれがいいかちょっと自分で決めてください
So please work on these to figure out which one best suits you.
多分最後のが一番シャープに見えると思
I
う
think the last one though is the one that's going to appear to be the sharpest out of all of them.
同じ面です
Because they're all the same men. They've all got the same amount of power starting out.
同じ答え
The same, and it's all the same amount of power for kote.
で右手をこてこにして
So you can use, like for example, have the right hand become a pivot point.
ちょっと皆さん構えて
So everyone just tamai.
でこのまんま
So just from here, just try to use your right hand as a pivot point.
これだ
But don't let your left hand go up past your right arm. Okay?
それでこうバーッといって
そう
で
One,
右手で前だ
see. So you let your left hand push out, and then you, at the same time that you pull your left hand back,
これで
push your right hand forward.
これでこうじゃなくてこれで右手を前に出して左手を引く
So here, and you have to make sure that your right hand isn't going down, but rather going forward. Okay?
全日本剣道チャンピオンシップのトップのレベルの人はこういう打ち方やってます
So a lot of the top ranking Kendo players at the All Japan Kendo level,
ただ
they
早く
use this
Hayaku.
kind of this kind of strike. It's just that it's very fast.
早くて見れ
And
ない
so that's why a lot of people can't catch what they're doing.
だけど ピクチャーで止まってる
But
と
if you do it in slow motion, you can see
止まってるとこう
that they're going up like this.
で
And then extending here
今
like
みたいな
this.
やってみてください
So, please try that.
これは初心者も OK なんです
And this is something that beginners can also try too.
できるようになったらすぐですよ
Because once you can do this, that means that you can do a strong, confident strike. So you'll be able to quickly gain rank.
いいですかこれが面白いここまで近まらない
So, if we're here at close distance,
小さい
if he comes in with fast men,
これの方が早いです
this is actually just as fast, if not faster.
これは同じになっちゃうんです
But if you bring it up or do this, then it becomes almost the same speed.
ダメです
That's no good.
とにかくやっぱりスピードが剣道はスピードが勝負だ
So, Kendo is pretty much, it's going to be a speed match.
0.1 or 2
Whether
That's
you
it.
win or lose, or whether you pass or fail, can get determined in 0.1 second or 0.2 seconds.
0.1セカンドだけですかこれが 0.1
This is 0.1 second. This is how fast it is.
0.5
This is 0.5.
0.1セカンド 0.1 2はこれはねだからそれでも同じでしょ右手離して左手だから
So, it's pretty almost at the same time that you let go with one hand that you have to be able to grab with the other.
じゃあ皆さんこうやってるわけです
So, everyone. People do this, but that's
Okay.
just
All right.
giving yourself
One,
extra
two.
time.
こうやってるわけ
Because you're having it go up in the air, that's giving you an extra half second. No, it has to be from here immediately.
そのスピードで面を打ってくださ
That's the kind of speed that you need when striking men.
い OK? Yes, that's it はい時間がちょうど12分だよ今日はもう審査の結果
So, today was pretty much these mock exams and going over what you need to work on in order to pass your examination.
だからこれをずっと稽古していくとうまくなる
So, if you practice with these things in mind, with that goal of what you need to do to pass your next exam, then you will naturally get stronger.
はい最後に一つだけ尊
One last thing.
尊虚が
When you do sonkyo,
でこれを下げた時には真横なんですよ
so when you have it down at your side,
がで
you want to
構え
have
た時にセンター
this pointing straight forward. And it's only when it comes up that the
Yeah.
tip of your
One,
pommel
two,
should be
three.
in your center line.
始めそんな慌ててやんなくていいです
So you don't have to rush like this.
これが尊虚の大会終わりました
And when you finish, see, make sure that this is pointing straight forward and take your time.
これが皆さんきちっとできないとダメです
So you all have to be able to do this because this is the first thing that the examiner sees.
一度みんなで練習してもよろしいですか？はい。
Okay.
Maybe let's practice. 今の。
Let's everybody please try to get at least 6 min strikes and then be prepared to line up.
Oh,
No, practice.
Oh, practice. I'm sorry.
Yes. We're first going to do sonkyo.
Oh, height, one, two, height, okay.
All right. So
はいはいとそれしてはいワンステップフォー
forward. then now you're finished. So down.
One, two, three, four, five.
さっき見たすり足でやってる人は4人しかいない。
So there were only 4 people that did the suriashi correctly. When you go forward or go back, you need to make sure that your toes do not leave the ground. They should glide across the floor like this. Make sure that you do not show the ball of your feet or your toes to your opponent.
だからバース1、2、3終わりまします。みんな足が浮いてるんですよ。
So, I see a lot of you, it's like when you step forward or backwards, you're letting your toes go off. Make sure that your toes stay sliding across the ground.
もう全部一つ一つ審査員がってうなるよう
Because you have to make sure that everything that you do, everything that the examiners are looking at, you need to make sure that you're doing correctly.
私はこの選挙と一番最初の8段落とされました。
Because Sonkyo was the first thing that I was failed at when I went for my 8th
いや無理
exam.
I'm shocked. Just 選挙。これもうダメなんですよ。
So this was already considered, a failure
これから戦いに行くっていうわけだから。
because you have to have more gravitas to it because you're about to fight.
こういう雰囲気がない。
This kind of feeling needs to be present in your motions.
はい、そういうことです。ちょうどいい時間なんですから。ちょうど時間となりました。
Okay. Alright, so we are pretty much out of time, correct? So, alright, put it on.
時間ないですか
Everybody should do men.
Is it okay this way?
Four times, 2 times, everybody. And then like that.
いや、最後でね、ちょっとね、みんなで、打ち込み念をやって、
はいはい。じゃあやりましょう。
Okay? So, alright, so, I guess I'll receive it as you.
Everybody get a partner, please. Make it your very best mid of everything that we talked about today. Your 2 best mid. Like you won't get any more because you won't.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3. Out. Up. Best man. He went with me. Down.
皆さん構えてどうぞ遅めどうぞストレッチ Hands up. Zero try. Sensei, hey!
Thank you, everybody. I have a lot we have to go over in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be paying very close attention to all these details. It's on us. We have to make sure. Hey, Sensei, final comments.
最後に何か一言
いつも自分が普通の稽古の時に審査の稽古をやってるつもりでやるとうまくなると思います。
So, if you practice every time as if you're taking an exam, then naturally you will get better.
なぜかというと、エグザミネーションは基本はどれだけできてるかというのを見るんです。
Because the examinations are mostly about how well have you mastered the basics.
だから7段とか8段だとくるとミスは許されないんです。
That's why at the 7th dan and 8th dan level, not a single mistake is allowed.
だからパンした時にこんな中で避
That's
け
why
てしまう
even
と
if you're surprised, you can't
ダメなんです。
lean or dodge out of the way like this.
だから練習の時に目からパッてやるでしょ。
So during practice, you might dodge out of the way like this,
だから審査に出ちゃう
but that means that your body naturally reacts that way, and it's going to come out during an examination.
だからエグザミネーションのつもりで
That's why each time you have to practice as if it's an exam, so that you eliminate those
うまくなる。
bad habits of yours, and that will let you get stronger.
とにかく一生懸命やってください。
So, most of all, I want you to work hard.
また帰ってきます。
So, I want to be able to come again and see that you have improved.
ちょっと遠いですけどね。
It's a little far though,
まあだんだん年だから。
because I'm getting old, so I don't want to drive so long anymore.
I need a helicopter. No problem. はい、ありがとうございます。はい、ということです。頑張ってください。
Go me. Hey! Once again. Hey!
Very briefly, we have a quick presentation.
Oh my God. 誰かいる人があげます、ビールは。ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.